T20 World Cup in the USA, who took the wickets of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli and was the super over hero against Pakistan. He's had a poor start to the tournament, and they are making a big statement by leaving him out. Andries Kous, who came into this tournament with a century in the semifinal of the T20 for the eventual champion Desert Vipers. Again, he hasn't looked great in this tournament. Reputationally, those are the two biggest names that USA has on the T20 franchise circuit. And if you go back to the last World Cup, Andries Kous had that half century against South Africa that brought USA so close to causing an upset in that game. So to see both Andries Kous and Saurabh Netravalkar dropped is massive shakeup for USA. They've also left out Ehsan Adil, who made his debut against Pakistan but was very poor in that game. And they brought in Ali Khan, who missed the previous game due to injury. Saimul Kamala comes back in, who's been their highest scorer in T20 cricket over the last year and a half. I thought he was very unfairly dropped for the Pakistan match. He got out for 2 against India. And then Nash Kenjige, who took 3 wickets against Pakistan in Texas 2 years ago, hasn't played yet in this tournament. They want to play an extra spinner, so they brought Nash Kenjige in as a left-arm spinner to support Harmeet Singh and Mohammad Mohsin. The one guy I thought would be dropped for this match, who hasn't really done anything, Milan Kumar, somehow still in the lineup for USA.
Just the one change for the Netherlands. Tim van der Gooten is left out. Kyle Klein comes back in. They've been operating what seems to be a rotation system and making some changes. Some of it has been forced on them with some illness. The music we hear is not that of an anthem, and they're still making their way around outside of the field at Chennai, the stadium ahead of that one. But this is big news for the Netherlands. Coming into its strong favourites, I guess. Or have I put one too many strongs in there for you?
No, they have
more strong.
They've beaten USA every time they played them in T20I cricket. The most famous match was in the 2022 global qualifier in Zimbabwe at the time when it still was a global qualifier. In a winner-takes-all match, the semi-final of the tournament, USA posted 138 in the first innings, and then Bas de Leede played one of the greatest innings under pressure I've ever seen at a World Cup qualifier with a spot in the World Cup at stake. 91 not out in the chase off 67 balls to get the Netherlands over the line with an over to spare, and that put Netherlands into the World Cup in 2022.
Okay, the flags, and I have to say, by the way, we tend to talk over this part of proceedings at the end of the game. These are massive flags that are unfurled by considerable numbers of young people. When they come out, they pretty much stretch over, a large area. It's maybe not the centre of the field of play, but it's fairly near the central, and they cover that ground. And the cheers you can hear in the background now as the flags have been unfurled. Both sets of players, along with even more mascots, make their way out to the middle. I didn't see it, but normally by this stage, the old sponsored truck, the motorised little motor vehicle comes along and usually stops close enough for the umpire not to have to move too far to walk across and pick up the match ball. It's all to do with sponsorship, and actually it's a bit of a laugh. It always makes me chuckle, and there's nothing too wrong with that. But anyway, the umpires are out there as well. They picked up the ball, so both sets of players are now just lining up alongside our match officials. I'm not going to try and guess which anthem's going to go first, because it's not based on alphabetical, apparently. I think we'll hear the announcer say which one it's going to be, but 2 anthems ahead of the start of the play, just about 6 minutes away. The flags are there, and the ICC one as well. And initially, it's the Netherlands. So cheers for the Netherlands, and now of course, so well known as this one, the United States of America.
So formalities over, and we're about to go again. United States of America against Netherlands. Netherlands with 1 win and 1 defeat so far. And just to reiterate, if they do win today, then they go to Ahmedabad to take on India next Wednesday with a chance of qualifying. That net run rate might well come into it. Also, the result of India-Pakistan come into it. The margin of victory is in that game, so I have a much better idea. But anyway, first things first for them today is to try to win this match and think about another game and another day when it comes round. United States with 2 defeats so far against India in their opening game, and they made India sweat for a bit, 77 for 6 after 12.5 overs, 4 overs I should say, when Pandya was out. But Surya Kumar Yadav's 84 not out took India to 161 for 9. The USA 132 for 8. And then Pakistan 190 for 9, USA 158 for 8. So they picked out 2 quite similar games in a way against the 2 really big teams in this group, India and Pakistan. They've lost by similar margins on the chase. So today they are being put into bat by the Netherlands. In a few years we might get some dew in Chennai, and that should, in theory, favour the Netherlands. They're also making those changes today with no Netravalka and no House, the wicket-keeper. There's some Adil as well, who came into the squad because of injury, being dispatched today. But they do have Shaddeep van Schalkwyk, who has taken 4 for 25 in both matches so far, so he's got 8 wickets in the competition. He's in their lineup, but we won't see him just yet because it's the Dutch who are in the field, and some familiar names in that Dutch lineup, not least Colin Ackerman and Scott Edwards, Rowan van der Merwe, 41 years of age, Max O'Dowd as well. He's in his 4th T20 World Cup. It's going to be Monank, Patel, captain and wicket-keeper, to take the first ball of the match. I'm talking about wicket-keepers. The Dutch keeper is standing up, Scott Edwards. So we're about to get going, and Aryan Dutt is going to bowl the first ball of this match. Jahangir is the other opener. And we're about to get underway in our 3rd game of the day. We've had victories so far today for Zimbabwe against Australia and for the United Arab Emirates in that last game against Canada. Our umpires today are Nitin Menon and Mr. Anand Tapad Manaban, an old favourite from the IPL. Michael Carberry alongside me as Aryan Dutt is about to get this match underway. The Dutch in their wonderfully alluring orange strip, all orange apart from a blue collar to their shirts, and the USA all in blue. Just waiting for the final countdown, and let's play. And a significant game for, well, all World Cup games are significant, but particularly for the Dutch, who are still alive. Here then is Dutt to bowl the first ball of the match to Monank, and Monank knocks it away into the onside for a single. This outfield in Chennai has been completely relayed in preparation for this World Cup and the IPL that's coming up as well. The United States of America 1 for no wicket against the Netherlands. The teams will be competing in the Football World Cup in a few months' time, the USA and the Netherlands. Here is Dutt bowling, and Cheyenne Jahangir plays it away towards mid-wicket, and there is no run, which brings me on to Italy. We've actually won more Cricket World Cup matches, I think, in the last 2 decades tournaments than the Italian football team. The team winning yesterday against Nepal, because they haven't been qualifying much for Football World Cups. Dutt bowls, or he actually goes into bowl there and then loses his run up or something. Pulls back, goes back to his mark. Big white 88 on the back of his orange shirt. And goes in now to bowl to Jahangir, the right-hander. Jahangir plays quietly away into the onside towards mid-wicket, and that is no run. Zach Lion Cachet with the fielding. 22 years of age, born in Oxford, the son of a former Dutch rugby international. He's played for Oxfordshire, he's in the Dutch lineup. Talking about some familiar faces, the less familiar one, been down at Sussex. Next ball from Dutt is pulled away by Jahangir for 6 over deep mid-wicket. Nicely dispatched, really beautifully played, 7 for no wicket.
What a catch by the ball boy just outside the boundary there, taking that one-handed. Yeah, that was really a hickey ball, wasn't it? Sat up nicely, trying gleefully tucking into that one, hitting it 75 metres over the rope. Oh, excuse me.
Absolutely right. We'll come back to that in a moment. Dutt bowls to Jahangir, and that one spins. Goes down fine. We're used to some turn in Chennai. It's knocked back inside the rope at fine leg, and they come back for 3 somethings. Look at the umpire. And that's 3 runs. It did spin there and nudged away.
Big spin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just having a look at the surface there. It looks very mosaic-like, isn't it? It doesn't look like it's going to last too long, this pitch.
Well, we normally in Chennai, we normally get the ball to, and
how calm was that?
The ball boy, he just took it away to his right one-handed. It's on TV all around the world.
He's done it. It's not his first rodeo, is it?
No. That bowls to Monank. Monank plays it away, backward square on the onside for 1. They're going to look to come back for 2. They do. Hasten back to that second run. And this has been a good first over for the USA. 12 for no wicket after the first over in Chennai up against the Netherlands. So Dutt's gone around the park a bit there in that over.
So it's always a curious one with a lot of T20 teams now. You know, you've got knowing that the white ball doesn't last that long, generally in terms of swing. You're playing at night, so generally it does aid swing bowling. Is there not a case in point to start with your seam bowlers, especially as the pitch looks a little bit up and down? Why, is it not really expecting that much turn for the spinners? Give the seamers every chance to utilise the ball while it's moving. Am I thinking too old school here?
I'm not sure I can answer that question, but I think it's a question worth posing, isn't it? I mean,
it's interesting.
Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look what Logan van Beek can come up with, and if he does get the ball to nip and swing or whatever, then you say, well, next over he might bring another pace bowler on rather than go with a spin.
It's just something interesting. It's the nouveau thing.
So Logan van Beek is going to bowl. A man born in Christchurch, 35 years of age, his 6th T20 World Cup. His first ball was put into the stands. Not much swing there. Now that one's dropped in the stands. It's a bit harder if you are in the seated area. And our ball boy chap, he didn't have anyone around him, did he? He was just standing there on the boundary edge, just caught it away to his right-hand side with one hand, but just got chairs in the way and other people competing to take the catch. And they muffed it there. They messed it up in the crowd. There's 2 sixes already. It was a long way back. It was only 74 metres, so a short boundary on that side. It went way over the rope. It was only 74 metres.
Because he likes a short pitch ball.
Jahangir, born in Karachi, moved to the USA in 2017. It's 18 for no wicket. He had 7 balls in the match. Not a great start for the Dutch, for whom victory is essential if they want to progress. Bowls now to Jahangir on the pad. Van Beek bowls to Jahangir on the pads of Jahangir, and he's got it away down fine. It's another boundary. It's gone away for 4. His leg buys, but losing his line there, Logan van Beek. 22 for no wicket already after only 8 balls in the match.
Not exactly the start you'd be looking for from a Dutch point of view. It's been very erratic bowling. Short ball first up. The overcompensation now, the full misdirected ball down the leg side full, which was tucked away nicely. again by Cheyenne. He'd be loving this. This is just what you want as an opener. Get those early boundaries away, get some early momentum.
He's already 15 off 6 balls. Van Beek bowls outside the off stump. Well, there was some swing. It went away from the right-hander who pushed at it and missed it on its way through to wicketkeeper Scott Edwards. So Van Beek pitching it up there and getting the ball to do something. Lovely seam presentation.
That was a lovely delivery, wasn't it? Just in the channel. Cheyenne sort of feeling for the ball, no real foot movement, just all hands.
22 for no wicket. Second over, Van Beek bowls to Cheyenne Jahangir. A big swing at that one outside the off stump. He's missed that. On its way through to Scott Edwards, wicketkeeper captain. So we've got in this match, we've got both captains keeping wicket. Scott Edwards and Monank Patel. Scott Edwards, who was born in Tonga, grew up in Australia. He's got a Dutch grandmother. First Dutch player to score 2,000 runs. He waits behind the stumps. Van Beek goes in and bowls. A miscue down towards deep third off the bat of Cheyenne Jahangir. So another run to the total, 23 for no wicket. Coming to the end of the second over of this USA innings. Coming to the end of the first week of the competition as well.
RCB Army, bro, hi bro.
Saturday. So
bro,
a
welcome
full
to the
week
stream.
and so much to
Enga
talk about and enjoy. Okay, some
Max ki
straightforward games
channel
as
endu varinglo.
well. Not every game has been thrilling. Not every game has gripped the cricketing supporters around the world, but there's been a lot to talk about. As forward goes Monank and plays that towards extra cover, and there's no run. That's the end of Van Beek's over. So his first ball going for 6, and then 4 leg byes, and after that he dragged it back a bit, just 7 off the second over of the match.
தெரியும் bro, இப்போதான் பார்த்தனே உங்களை chatல பார்த்தா தான் நான் கரெக்ட்டா சொல்ல போறேன்.
Sometimes can be a little bit tricky to start off with batsmen coming after you, but
Battlefield cricket உயிரோட்டருக்கு விளையாடுவோம் அவரோட சொல்லு.
3 balls there to swing away.
பார்த்தோம் chat பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தீங்க.
Come on again. Stick in that area. Great start from USA also. They'll be delighted. Nothing better.
So straight அடிச்சு விட்டு ஓடுறேன். Just miss.
Get those early boundaries. Just calms the dressing room down.
இவனுங்க வேற சென்னையில இதான் அனிருத் பார்த்தா போட்டுட்டு இருக்கானுங்க. சேனலை தூக்கி விட போறானுங்க கிரவுண்ட்ல.
Fred Klassen
கூலி பவர்னு போட்டுட்டு இருக்கானுங்க பாட்டு.
No, he's not. It's going to be Klein to bowl.
அப்படியே கேக்குது கமெண்ட்ரியில.
Kyle Klein to bowl the third over. Right arm pace bowler. First ball is
கூலி
skewed
பவர்
into the onside by Cheyenne Jahangir. And there is no run.
சிங்கிளா தான் அடிக்க முடியுது.
No wicket. So you look at Klassen and then Klein.
சொல்லுங்க ப்ரோ. நீ சரியான விராட் கோலி ஃபேன் போலியே.
24 years of age, played Dutch under 19 cricket. It's 19th T20 international today.
லெவல அப்படியே நின்னுட்டான்.
Klein strides into bowl outside the off stump. Jahangir tries to force that away through the offside and miscues, and there's no run.
எங்க தூக்கி விடலாம்.
Seen the ball swing.
பவர் பிளேக்கு அப்புறம் அடிக்கவே
They've
முடியல.
changed their plans, but I suppose the ball
இந்த கேப்ல அடிப்போமா?
That first the ball did spin as well.
எட்ஜ்.
But then you can go to spinners outside the power play, I suppose, in those middle overs.
Absolutely. It's always been one of those.
Come on guys, like போட்டு பாருங்க bro. எல்லாம் பார்க்கலாம்.
Straight away to spin, try and utilize the white ball. Especially
put the like and subscribe.
It's clearly going to break up at some stage. You can see it's not, there's a lot
தூக்கி விடு.
kind of
ஐயோ கேட்ச் போயிர போகுது.
Klein rushes in.
Clear பண்ணிரோன்னு நினைச்சேன்.
Stump. Good tight delivery there to Jahangir, who plays it towards mid-off quietly. No run. Max O'Dowd with the fielding at mid-off.
Sometimes with these kind of wickets where they're kind of that mosaic.
That top of the battle
you want your quicker men sometimes to hit that area. It just creates. You can get a little bit of extra bounce.
Come on guys.
Brings you slip and keep.
Smash the like button and subscribe.
The seam is proud and the ball is swinging.
Klein. So a pretty sharp haircut. Moves into bowl to Jahangir. A bit of width there and full and hit over extra cover for 4.
1 second.
Oh, a tight line until then. That one was outside the off stump. It was nice and full. He was able to free his arms and hit it over extra cover. 27 for no wicket. USA in the 3rd over.
Just getting that one, say, fraction probably too full, and maybe the width, I think, was what was invited Janhashgir to put that one over extra cover.
இன்னைக்கு வீக்கெண்ட் வேறயா சென்னையில கிரவுண்ட் ஃபுல்லா
Jahangir moves to 20.
அட்மாஸ்பியர் செம்மையா இருக்கும்.
13 balls and he's bowled in that time, full, and a wicket for Klein. Absolutely delighted with that. It's his right hand and sort of wipes his hand across his face in celebration, and Jahangir has gone for 20. It was a very full delivery, almost Yorker length, and he missed and the bowler hit.
Boundary.
Yeah, absolutely, it was a fine delivery. He was building something towards the beginning of that over, talking about that tight line. Just a little bit fuller. And not guilty just of, or Shine even, sorry, guilty of just coming across the ball ever so slightly, not
out,
going through the line of the ball. And he's bowled nick and crop, as they say.
Yeah, he was looking to just work it a bit, wasn't he? Work the straight ball. Yorker length, it wasn't quite Yorker length, it was much fuller than on the stumps.
I think that'd be his disappointment going back to the sheds. I think, it was almost the perfect ball in the slot, wasn't it? If he just kept the bat face going through the line. A bottom hand taken over there, but he's back in the sheds now.
Fielding, வளைச்சு நிப்பாட்டி வச்சிருக்காங்க.
Is the next player in for the United States. 27 for 1.
RCB bro, இருக்கீங்களா? RCB Army, ராஜயம் தமிழ்.
Drum beat from the crowd, creating the atmosphere. It's not we're near a full house. The Chepauk, the Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai, a decent size.
Oh, clear பண்ணிரு. ஓய், என்ன கேட்சரா இது?
Very warm in Chennai, whatever time of the year, whatever time of the day. The leaf from the sun is climbing.
இதெல்லாம் வாய்ப்பே இல்ல. 6 இதெல்லாம் 6 பவுண்ட். எப்படி கேட்ச் விட்டான்?
The backward point, I should say. And there is no run. It's the end of the over. So 3 overs gone. They've got their wicket. Settled things down a little bit with that over from Klein.
Dive catch
and 5 dot balls from it, bowling quite full, quite straight in that first over of his.
Yeah, I think that's just got to be the order of the day, really.
இல்லையா மொத்த டீம் காலி ஆயிடுச்சு.
Simple. So there's obviously a little
6
bit
wicket down
for the bowlers. Tight lines and lengths to some degree is the key. Mainly stopping the batsmen using their arms. Cannot afford width.
Ball bound போக மாட்டேங்குது.
So Mukamala is used to players being born overseas and going to the country in which they're playing in this World Cup for all sorts of reasons. And that one's turned away by Monank. Patel towards mid-wicket. Van Beek on his second over. He was born in the United States. He was born in Plainsboro, New Jersey. He's out there because Jahangir was castled by a fully straight ball, hit middle and off from Klein. 27 for 1. 3.1 overs gone.
Hey, 2 square.
Looking for that victory, which will give an opportunity in the next match against India. And that was a full delivery there. Monank bashes it down the ground. Beautiful stroke right off the middle of the bat, out towards straight long off, back where it came from there. Pedigree shot, high pedigree shot.
Absolutely, that was a terrific shot. Yeah, held the pose, beautiful straight back, just drilled it back past the bowler. Wonderful shot.
31 for 1 in the 4th over. Van Beek
Boundary.
tries again and bowls on off stump,
down
to the onside, and through for a quick sing as a tumbling save close to the wicket on the onside, but it was a single comfortably gathered. 32 for 1 in the 4th over. Yeah, a bit of atmosphere inside the Chidambaram stadium they're seeing, but nothing compared to what the Dutch are going to face in Ahmedabad next Wednesday. You think, anyway? That's a night game as well. Against India, whether the ground will be full, I don't know. Whether that gets people's juices going, a match against the Dutch. Is India playing? Is it a World Cup game? Just come back off for a match against Pakistan on Sunday. We'll have to go to Colombo to play. As Van Beek plays the bowls, it's played down towards deep third, and they go through for a single.
Middle stump.
3 for 1 in the fourth over. I mean, India normally in ICC events beat Pakistan every single time, but invariably they do. A big test for Pakistan on Sunday. We'll bring you that game on Sunday afternoon.
I'm quite looking forward to it. And, I think it's been a bit chippy the last couple of weeks.
Has it? I haven't noticed. There's Van Beek bowling to Monank. Patel, who drives another lovely shot, but very well stopped. So they only get a single, very half stopped at mid-on. It's a really good piece of fielding, prevents the ball going towards the rope. It's Roelof van der Merwe. Okay, he's diving. He's diving to his left, which is his stronger side. But he really did roll back the years there, 41-year-old.
Back foot shot.
Good effort.
He played for South Africa in the Under-19 World Cup in 2004. So he's been playing international cricket now for, what's that, 22 years? Okay, albeit under-19, but that's still international cricket. Van Beek bowls to Makamala, lays that square of the wicket on the offside towards backward point. And there is no run, maybe there by Zach Cachet. Oxford-born player, pro contract at Sussex. It's the end of the fourth over. Van Beek's got 2 overs for 14, 4 overs gone, 34 for 1 is the USA score.
Grounded that catch.
4 for 1. So I think the pitch has played pretty well. Doesn't probably look the best pitch. So far, no demons. Probably just the one ball that's really, I suppose, turned the bounce from spinning. It's a good surface.
Another over from Klein. Good last over from him. His first ball is hit uppishly over his head. It's not perfectly timed. It goes out towards deepish, long off. O'Dowd is after it. Sends in the return. And they pick up 2, 36 for 1.
What I've liked with these two USA batters so far is that when they've looked to hit big, they've looked to hit straight. Probably put themselves now, they're probably going to go for massive right across the line. But I like what they're doing here. As soon as those Netherlands bowlers have just fractionally over pitched, they've looked to hit the ball mid-on, mid-off region. Really well.
Klein bowls to Monank Patel, who goes leg side, ball just drifting in onto the pads. He's hit it out towards deep mid-wicket. That's gone before. Inside the power play, so the field is up. And that was lifted away into the onside by Monank Patel. Another excellent stroke, 40 for 1. And Klein is angling it in. So it came nicely onto the bat.
Yeah, I mean, Klein's not the tallest of quick bowlers, so I think these two batters are aware now he's not going to run up and hit you on the head necessarily, so they can afford to look to inch forward a little bit more to him versus Van Beek, the other end.
40 for 1, 5th over. Monank on 15, faces Klein. Klein plays that away into the Monank plays that way into the onside towards the wicket. Stopped on the bounce. Quite straight, hasn't he? He's not given much width. Quite tight to the stumps. Hasn't always worked for him. Not the ball before. Just fractionally drifted onto the pads, but he's bowled straight. Only gone for 10 from his 9 balls so far.
Well, he's keeping the stumps in place. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And as a captain, you have to accept that someone like him, batters will play great shots, but equally he's giving himself every opportunity with the new rock to get you some wickets as well.
9 bowls, that's on the stumps, sliced away down towards deep third on the bounce. Just single down there after waving back with Monank Patel. Moves to 16, 41 for 1 on the 5th over.
sort of backing away there to himself, and really conscious of the fact that Klein is trying to go very straight, so he's trying to create a bit of an angle. Almost picking out third man down there. A bit late moving towards the ball.
Klein tries again. Past the umpire now, out to the stumps, bowls to Mukamala. Again, the straight ball turned away into the onside through square leg. This time, single out towards the boundary on the onside. Throw comes into Scott Edwards. 42 for 1. The USA. And towards the end of their power play. Not a bad power play so far, with power to add. With 7 balls to go. And coming to the end of this second over. 12 so far. So 1 ball left in the 5th over. It's matching Chennai, southeast of India, sweaty and hot. Midnight. Monank waits. That high. Klein bowls to another straight ball, which is powered up towards mid-on. Van der Merwe's down on his knees to stop that. Doesn't have to swarm to his left-hand side this time. Picks it up, hurls the ball in. So dot ball to finish the over. So Klein in the power play, happy enough with those figures. 2 overs, 1 for 12. Bowling straight and quite full has been his plan. We've had 5 overs of the USA innings, 42 for 1 against the Dutch. And the next 5 overs, it will be Kevin Harris.
Thank you very much. A bit of World Cup related news with county cricket as well. Of all the days that Worcestershire should announce they've signed the Zimbabwean captain Sikandar Raza instead of Ben Dwarshuis. This is the day. Dwarshuis was supposed to be playing for Worcestershire, but he's been withdrawn by Cricket Australia to manage his workloads on the day that Australia lost to Zimbabwe. So what Worcestershire have, and I think we should probably have done a dusty way before the game, of course, ahead of the shock this morning. But Sikandar Raza will play in the T20 class for Worcestershire today. Zimbabwe beat Australia by 23 runs earlier on. So USA 42 for 1 after 5 overs. Klaassen about to bowl for the first time here for the Netherlands. The USA going on very nicely. And nice positivity from Peter alongside me in a moment for 2's time. Mind you, that said, that's gone high and surely long enough. Yes, it is. Straight over the boards. Bounces into the fencing there. The high fencing, and that is a big 6. So a welcome to the match, Mr. Klaassen, and welcome, Peter Delapena.
Monank Patel's looking very good today, but on this occasion it's Sai Mukamala. Sai, the pride of the Garden State from Plainsboro, as Simon Mann said before, and he's somebody who, one of 2 homegrown players in this squad.
Next ball worked on to the onside, no run. Sorry to interrupt.
2 homegrown players. Historically, USA's squad has been primarily comprised of expatriates from India and Pakistan and Jamaica and Guyana. And nowadays you see more South African influence as well. But Sai Mukamala and Sanjay Krishnamurti are the 2 homegrown players in this squad. And Sai is an inspiration for a lot of kids in America and especially in New Jersey.
Down to the left arm of Klaassen in bowls full. And that's been hit hard, firm, fast and straight. That's not going to be a 6. That's a fine shot for a 4. And this is not a great start for Klaassen and for the Netherlands at this 6th over. Final over of the power play. USA bring up their 50. 52 for 1 in the 6th over.
It's in the slot, over pitched, and this is a good wicket to bat on. The previous ball that went for 6 was further back of a length, and he just hit it straight through the line. This time pitched up much further, and Mukamala dispatches it back over the bowler's head for the 2nd time in the over.
Fred Klaassen, not going so well for him. What can he do to try and drag this back? 6 dot and 4. That's a better delivery, nice and full, lifting and a little bit of movement away through to the keeper. We'll be happier with the bowler with that one. USA seemingly the least favourites here against the Netherlands, obviously, but we've had some major shocks and we've had some close calls, and we've had what I didn't think there was a shock to Italy, and it doesn't have to be a shock for Italy to have won. It was just a fantastic story anyway. This one is turned away to the onside, and we mustn't forget, and it's easy to do, no run off that pass ball. It's easy to do when we've got so many matches coming thick and fast here, but the USA did cause 1 or 2 headaches for India during that game as well in their opener. So this is not any stretch of the imagination a gimme for the Netherlands to win and just to keep themselves interested along with India and Pakistan in qualifying. The USA have got plenty about them. Clarkson, one ball left to this over, left arm, in bowls and push and run into the offside and go through for a single. So a couple of dots and a single at the end, but a total of 11 coming from that Clarkson over. And it's time for the drinks break. 53 for 1. Monank on 16. Kamala on 13. And I'm looking at you and thinking, yeah, you'll be happy enough with that.
Especially for Saimo Kamal, because he was dropped after the India loss, I thought very harshly. Made 2 runs in that match, and he was USA's highest scorer. Since the end of the T20 World Cup in 2024, he made his debut on the tour of the Netherlands. That was USA's first overseas tour after the T20 World Cup in 2024. He came into the squad for that tour, and since then, he's been USA's highest scorer in T20Is by a comfortable distance. And the fact that he was dropped after 1 bad innings, I thought was incredibly harsh, when he was arguably far less culpable for the loss than so many other players in the team. Shahin Jahangir came in for him, performed well, deserved to keep his spot, made 49 against Pakistan. So now it's a case of if you bring Saimo Kamal back in, who goes out? Andres House is the guy to go out. But Saimo Kamal, as you mentioned, one of 2 homegrown players in this squad. And he comes from Plainsboro, New Jersey, just outside of Princeton. It's an area where in kind of central South Jersey, you've got a heavy Indian American population. Lots of Indians have migrated to New Jersey. Edison is very famous in the Indian community for its cultural impact in America. It's one of the biggest areas across all of America outside of Silicon Valley, where you've got a huge immigrant population. And he's grown up in that environment. And the fact that he had an opportunity to go to India. He initially went to Hyderabad at the age of, I think, 14 or 15 with the intent to train there and focus on cricket there. He hated it. He came back after a year. He was going to stay there long term, but he came back after the year, and part of the reason why he came back was it coincided with the emergence of Major League Cricket, the launch of the T20 franchise competition, and the improvement in infrastructure and facilities, and it opened the pathway for somebody like Saimo Kamal, who in previous years might have thought my only pathway to professional cricket is by going overseas. He said, you know what, maybe I can make a go of it on American soil, and that's one of the great benefits that Major League Cricket has had, is that somebody like Saimo Kamal has been able to stay at home, keep developing their cricket. He's been part of the Texas Super Kings squad for Major League Cricket. Got some very good opportunities with them with this past summer in the 2025 season, and now getting a chance on the World Cup stage as somebody who, again, is a homegrown player. There's been very few of those over the years. Stephen Taylor has been the most prominent one for USA historically. He had a 15-year career for USA from 2010 until early 2025. He was in the World Cup squad in 2024, didn't really perform, and that's part of the reason why he's no longer in the USA setup. And now Saimo Kamal, that torch has been kind of passed from Stephen Taylor to Saimo Kamal in terms of the homegrown talents, and it's great to see him get an opportunity here against the Netherlands.
Okay, and along with Monank Patel, with the loss of that wicket of Janagir, got the job now of steering the United States out of the power play into the next phase of the game, but with 53 runs on the board, just 1 wicket. Bukmala will drive that one, but just for a single to the outside. Dutt is back on the ball. Ball got the first over, first spin up front. This is his second. Van Beek, 2 overs, no wicket for 14. Klein, 2 overs, 1 wicket for 12. Larson's just bowled an over for 10. So they might have to mix and match quite a few of the bowlers here, the Netherlands. If the USA start tucking in to scoring some runs, not so much tucking in, but just going deep in the crease and punching the ball too long on for a single. The second ball of this over. Nothing too full here. It's all been around a length. And again, sort of right mix of where the boundaries have come from as well. One particular length has been costly. This one is driven wide, long off for a single. So it's the little period of play. Although I was going to say little period of play, which a lot of teams will go fairly steady on, but having got to the end of that power play, only having lost 1 wicket, they may be tempted maybe to keep this rate going long as it is at the moment, which is 8.62. Monank's on 17, the right-handed bat. Dutt comes around the wicket to him. Sits up nicely. It's pushed hard and firm, but there's a man on the cover boundary running round with a right-arm throw. They'll go through for 2, which takes the USA to 58 for 1. 2 balls left of the 7th over. The USA with a role to play here, and they are able to come out on top against the Netherlands. They'll certainly be cheered on by India and Pakistan. Now down and up and away Monank, and that has travelled for 6. Wonderful strike on the onside, just wide, long on. Can't quite. Did he get down on one knee? Certainly got very low to it to get under it and dispatch it. 64 for 1. Let's have a look. How far low did he get? Oh, fairly low, yeah. And the wish of the bat. That's a 6. 81 metres it's gone.
And Aryan Dutt, arguably at fault. There was a chance in the 5th over when he was fielding at deep 3rd. I want to go back to it in a minute.
This is the last ball of the over. This time it's on the offside. Beats the fielder inside the circle. It's not going to get the better of the man who's looking after things on the cover boundary. So it's 1 to finish. So there were a total of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 runs coming from that Dutt over. 24 runs in total from the 2 he's bowled so far. USA 65 for 1 after 7 overs.
Back in the 5th over, Monank facing Klein, sliced, really a slash to deep 3rd, and Kyle Klein thought it was a chance. You could see him screaming for a catch when the ball came off the bat, and Aryan Dutt was the fielder at deep 3rd. He never moved off the rope. If Glenn Phillips is fielding there, that's a catch. I know Glenn Phillips is playing for New Zealand, and this is the Netherlands, and you can't have your best fielder fielding in every position, and traditionally deep 3rd is not where you put your best fielder. But he made no effort, Aryan Dutt, and now it could come back to bite the Netherlands in a very serious way.
Roller van der Merwe in for the first time, around the wicket to the right-handed Monank, and that is behind square leg side. Push hard for 1, come back for 2. Fairly swift, coming back for that 2nd as well. So 2 runs at the start of this over from the man that was mentioned in the field by Simon and Cobbs a few moments ago. A long time playing cricket, Roller van der Merwe, but he probably remains as competitive, and I'm told quite angry at times about his cricket. And this one has worked away onto the onside. I think that's in a good way. A single of that 2nd ball of this 8th over. And 29. 41 runs second with the partnership, 27 balls. Head steady, goes back and use the risk, good use of the risk to send the keeper going chasing for that one. There's nobody out there, but 1 and no more. Hard work for the Netherlands captain. 69 for 1.
And he's got some links to club cricket around Manchester, my base at the moment. I play for Swinton Moorside Cricket Club, and there are stories about Roloff playing for Stretford Cricket Club and how difficult he is there.
Okay, well, his bowling there results in a single. Flat batted. Oh, they're going to go for a ricochet run here. It's into the stumps. The keeper wasn't able to gather it. Have they gone through for anything extra or not? No, I don't think so.
The intensity
70 for 1.
The intensity that he brings to the Dutch, that bulldog mentality that he's had for Somerset and previously for South Africa, he brings that same bulldog mentality
at every level. Look him all up, and that's a lovely shot, and it's going to get the better of the fielder, I think. No, just pulled back in. Nice work in the end. I think Van Beek will have to help out there with the throw, and I think probably the umpires will just want to have that checked. Logan Van Beek, all part of it there. Who's pulling this back in here? Just have a look. I think that's clean. Nice work. Around the wicket. Push square on the offside. They will go through us. Bit of a misfield there. Got to sharpen up a little of the Netherlands in the field, because clearly this pair, Van der Merwe going for 8 runs off that over, are very keen and alert to picking up as many of these singles as they can. Look at that over, for example. A couple of 2s, the rest were singles. And a run off every ball there, leaving them after 8 at 73 for 1.
Now USA the last time they played the Netherlands, they were 75 for 2 after 9 overs. Very similar situation where they are right now, 73 for 1 after 8. And then they collapsed to be 128 all out. And Arjen Dutt played a big role in that, taking 3 wickets in the middle order. You wonder if USA has bad memories of that, and if the Dutch have memories of that, and wondering it's just going to maybe take 1 more wicket to get into USA's middle order and spark a slide.
Colin Ackman just looking at that again, doing all the hard running. And fielding off that last one ball. This is in the air. I think it's going to fall safe. It is. A little fortunate. Mukamala there onto the onside. They'll run 2. He'll move to 21, take the USA to 75 for 1 in the 9th over. It's delayed a bowling. And look at this. He was looking for that to go a lot straighter than it did. It ended up with the man coming off the mid-wicket boundary, pulling well short. Safe enough area. I say well short. I mean, he really was stumbling to try to get to the ball. But a little fortunate, 75 for 1 in the 9th over. Mukamala, 21 not out. Punches this one, but straight to the field at extra cover, no run.
If that's a World Cup final, Kevin, Logan Van Beek is putting in a dive there. He was charging in all the way, and then he was in 2 minds. Do I dive? Do I go full extension for this? Or do I let it land at my feet and try and run through the ball? And he wound up staying on his feet, and it landed really a yard or 2 in front of his feet. If that's the World Cup final, Kevin, I think he's putting in a dive there.
Later, pounding in, bowls shorter, pulled, but doesn't really get that much of it. Ackerman up off the boundary with the right arm throw. 1 run, 76 for 1. Edging towards a 50-run partnership, this pair at 49 at the moment from 34. Going along really nicely, the USA here. 76 for 1 on the board. And Yank has got himself back on strike. Not much in it between this pair. They've both faced pretty much equal number of balls. Monyank's 8 runs more on 30 not out. Delayed a bowls. That's been pulled away. Has it been smashed hard and fast? It has, and finds the gap for 4. Through wide, long on. Good shot. 80 for 1. 2 balls left to the 9th over. And we're cut out here. This pitch is good. The Netherlands, of course, have got plenty of good aggressive batting themselves. But it looks like they are going to have a very rough and tough chase on here if this carries on from the USA. And Yank drives, beats the fielder just on the edge of the circle. Shouldn't get past. Van der Merwe running to his left-hand side on the boundary. 2 more runs. Steers the USA to 82 for 1. 1 ball remaining in the 9th.
What I'll be curious to see is if and when the next wicket falls, who does USA send into bat? Because Milan Kumar has been crawling along at basically a run of ball throughout the first 2 matches, and he's stalled USA's momentum every time he's come into bat. Do they keep him at 4?
And Yank on 36. Oh, a slower ball. This could be out, and it will be caught by Edwards. Oh, he was caught. 6 for 1, half a dozen other. Didn't know what to do there. Slower ball, a shorter one. He was looking just to lift it over the top of the keeper, but didn't get enough on it. Edwards, in fairness, still had a lot of ground to cover. That was tidy work from the keeper, and keeping his eye on it. I think just running over his shoulder there. There were another couple of fielders could have helped him out, but let's take a look at this again. Oh, he went to, I think, hook the ball. Then he has stopped and checked himself. Actually, it was just a few yards that the keeper had to run. My eye was taken by Klaassen coming in. Was he going to get in his way? But he didn't do so. 9 overs gone, 82 for 2. Monank Patel, 36 off 22. Caught Edwards, bowled Deleda. Just got himself in a right mess and tangled there.
Well, it was good bowling from Deleda. This was a knuckleball, really. If you look at his hand, he had the ball kind of in his fingernails. And that's the traditional knuckleball grip that you see from baseball that is now started to carry over into cricket. He bowled the knuckleball slower ball, and Monank tried to get creative uppercutting it over the keeper, and there was no pace on it to do it. And now I'm getting my answer, Kevin. Would USA bring in Milan Kumar and keep him in his traditional 4 role, or were they going to promote Sanjay Krishnamurti, who's much more free-flowing, has got a lot more power to offer? He's somebody who hit Rachin Ravindra, the New Zealand all-rounder. He hit him for 4 6s in an over on opening night in Major League Cricket at Oakland Coliseum for San Francisco Unicorns last summer. He's explosive.
Van der Merwe continues round the wicket. Mukamala will find a single behind square leg side to 23. Took that score for that second wicket from 27 up to 82 in the space of pretty much 6 overs. So a good job done, but change of pace was too much for the batter, and Edwards in the end, as I say, took the catch fairly comfortably in the end. His bigger problem was trying to make sure that it didn't go into a rather imposing figure of classing, so he wouldn't have fancied Edwards' chances there, but he pulled up short of it. Good diving stop at cover point, but they still go through for 1. So Sanjay is off the mark, and USA at 84 for 2 in the 10th over.
And this is a big moment, not just in the context of this match, but there's a lot of eyes in America that'll be watching and listening to this, because these are the two players in the squad for USA, Krishnamurti and Mukamala. Big expectations on them.
Welcome to the team.
Again, just on the off stump.
Leave 2 days.
Cut the ball certainly for 1, come back for a second, comfortable 2.
There's a big picture. If these two players succeed in a moment like this, it will inspire the local guys a lot more than seeing some of the other players who've been the dependable
big
performance
upset for us is sound, bro.
They haven't had
match நானும் பார்க்கல
கடைசி
நேரத்துல எனக்கு நோட்டிஃபிகேஷன் வந்துச்சு ஃபோன்ல இந்த மாதிரி ஹாட்ஸ்டார்ல இருந்து அப்புறம் தான் உள்ள போய் பார்த்தேன் லாஸ்ட் 2 ஓவர் மட்டும் பார்த்தேன்
short of the fielder but also wide to his right hand side.
Saturday
4
school
runs. Thought for one moment could that carry out to him, but no.
Saturday school
so it's another 4, takes the USA to 90 for 2. 2 balls left to the 10th.
It was almost a Yorker.
Surprised
he got under this to hit it with as much power as he did, really off the toe of the bat, and still got enough energy behind it to clear long off.
And a move up down the leg side, gathered in by the keeper. A wide, scored by the umpire. 2 singles, couple of runs, 4 and a wide. 2 balls remain at this Vandermeer second over. Around the wicket, high away, again on the offside. It looks to be safe. Will it have the legs to beat the fielder? Again, we'll have to take a look at that. I think this could be a 4. It looks it to me, but I'm sure the TV umpire will have a bit of a view on that. It's Van Beek who threw himself at it, and it's been confirmed anyway. I think perhaps the players themselves have just confirmed that although he did his utmost to get to it, to drag it back in, doing so, he touched the boundary sponge there, so that's a 4, and back in a little spate of runs here for the USA again.
Shot of the inning so far by Mukamala. Went inside out, created some room to go over extra cover, lofted it beautifully, and bisected cover sweeper long off.
1 ball left to the 10th. That's full, and beats Vandermeer diving wide to his right hand side. Had some ground to cover, but wasn't able to get it, so it's a single to finish off. 10 overs gone, 96 for 2. Sanjay on 1. Mukamala still looking good for his 34 off 23. Vandermeer 22 runs from his 2 overs. 96 for 2 after 10 overs. Peter, your thoughts before Simon picks up?
The question now is, can these two carry it on, especially Mukamala? He scored a 48-ball unbeaten century against Oman in Oman in early 2025. That's his career best knock. He's somebody who is a very good player of spin. He showed that in the last over against who has an illustrious career for the Netherlands as well as Somerset and county cricket. And if Mukamala can keep on taking on the spinners in the way that he did in that last over, that augurs very, very well for USA going forward.
96 for 2 then. Thanks very much, Peter. 10 overs have been bowled, and USA have got excellent base here.
Scoring
game between Afghanistan and New Zealand on this ground. New Zealand chasing down.
Clear arka.
Left arm round to
Clear arka. Load agudha. Buffer la
to bring up the 100 for the USA.
Weight rate adhigama irukku. Quality nariya nalla irukum. அதனால தான் கேக்குறேன். பஃபர் ஆகுதா நல்ல
see both sides bat.
Mobile data la buffer la இல்ல.
One of those pitches or surfaces that we often see in Chennai that are very, very grabby and difficult to score on. The spinners dominate. Not too bad a batting pitch. Michael Carberry.
Buffer okay.
Skidded on quite nicely.
Klassen bowls. That one's gone before as well. Same area. Bit short, wide, off stump. Outside the off stump, clattered away by goes to 42.
Catch pidicha mariye therliyada.
Score goes to 104 for 2 in the 11th over. And we're also making significant progress.
bowl out there. I mean, it's contracted, to be honest. It's not very good bowling at all from Klaasen. He's got to
replay பார்க்கணும் catch பிடிச்சு ஓடிக்கிட்டே இருந்தான் அப்படியே பிடிச்சிட்டான் காலை கொண்டே அதுல வச்சிட்டான் இருந்தாலும்
two men on the short third man wing.
பவுண்டரி லைன்ல காலை வச்சிட்டான்.
Got to bowl straighter.
Buck இதெல்லாம் buck
4 for 2 in the 11th over. Kamala's on 42. Score predictor has 191. At the moment, Klaasen bowls very full toss actually, wide of off stump. And he scuffs it from the bottom of his bat. Kamala out towards extra cover, and there's no run. Missed out there. Felt like one that was in the hitting arc, but on the toe of the bat. 4 for 2. Klaasen. Left arm, big leap, and he bowls. That one's cut away. It's very well stopped to backward point. That's an excellent piece of fielding from Baz de Leyde, diving away to his left. It might not have gone for 4, but it was hit very well. There's a deep third in. And just scoot round to stop it. De Leyde prevented that trip round the boundary.
Road to 350.
Left-hand side.
ஆமா bro. Cricket நால தான் வேகமா ஏறுது.
Chasing a few. 104 for 2. Klaasen bowls again, forced away into the leader again at backward point. There's a ground to make to his right that time.
Daily போட்டனா சீக்கிரமே பிரிட்டிஷ் ஆக வாய்ப்பு உண்டு.
3 for single, 105 for 2.
Daily தான் போட முடியாது.
I think just looking at Klaasen's line there, I think he's got to really trying to focus on a line, you know, take a leaf from Klein's book, you know, hone in on that off stump. I don't think you can really afford to be much wider than that. It just gives you up the batters too much opportunity to free those arms and cut the ball through that backward point region.
Goes in now, and there we go. He's hit the top of off stump, right on cue. He adjusted, and Sanjay has gone. Sanjay Krishnamurti is on his way for one, out to his second ball. And
commentary correct as
5 for 3
correct
after 11 overs. Michael Carberry.
Timing
played a bit of this game.
Seen it before, haven't I, mate? Yeah, just rolling the fingers, bit of a cross seamer, you would say. It just, probably Sanjay Krishnamurti just a little bit guilty of just maybe not presenting a straighter bat, slightly coming across the ball, and the ball just finding the tiniest of gaps. It was clean by Klaasen. It was an excellent delivery, but yeah, much needed. USA were just starting to build a little bit of an uncomfortable momentum there.
ஐயோ DJ ஃபுல்லா அனிருத் பாட்டா போட்டுட்டு இருக்கான் சென்னையில சேனலை தூக்க போறான்.
under the lights, it's, you know, it's just
இதோட எத்தனை அனிருத் பாட்டு
skid on rather than that sort of, sometimes you get that tufty
மல்லமா பித்தாத்தை போட்டுட்டு இருக்காங்க
sort of grip with a lot of those types of pitches.
எத்தனை ஸ்ட்ரைக் வர போகுதுன்னு தெரியல இன்னைக்கு.
105 for 3, so Klaasen just straightening things up there and getting his rewards. He's nicking off the leg bail. 105 for 3 after 11 overs of this USA.
Commentary.
Next man in is
0-0.
Ranjane.
என்ன bro 0-0 போட்டுருக்கீங்க?
Comes in to join Mukambali. He's having no trouble at all at the moment. He's
commentary off பண்ணு bro. ஏன் bro?
Shubham.
Commentary போட்டா தான் bro வருவாங்க.
Of age. He made 51 of 30 balls against Pakistan. So he's got some pedigree as well. So Klein's going to bowl the 12th over. That was the last ball of Klaasen's over.
ஏன் bro ஆஃப் பண்ண சொல்ற?
Straight 2 overs 1 for 12 early. Goes in now outside the off stump. It's forced away by Mukamala out towards deep cover.
Strike copyrights வந்து remove பண்ணிக்கலாம். Strike கொடுக்காம இருந்தா சரி.
Just having a look at that Klaasen delivery again. Yeah, just through the gate. It's straightening up. He's given some width there to the right-handers. Straightening up.
என்ன ப்ளே பண்ணலாம்?
Off that leg bail.
Pro team.
Scott Edwards, the captain, delighted with that. Just feeling as if the game might just feel of not slipping away from them, but it's going to make a difficult task if they go on like they have been.
இத்தனை நாள் டெய்லி கமெண்ட்ரி போட்டு தான் நாட்டுறேன். மற்ற கிரவுண்ட்லலாம் பாட்டு வந்துச்சு, ஆனால் இவ்வளோ கிளியராக கேட்கல. சென்னை கிரவுண்டில் மட்டும் அப்படியே கிளியராக கேட்கல.
And bowls to Shubham, guided away down towards fine leg by Shubham Ranjane. He's off the mark.
கரியர்ல வந்து வேர்ல்ட் கப் போயிட்டு இருக்கு 50 இல்ல வேர்ல்ட் கப் முடிஞ்சு டெஸ்ட் மேட்ச் போயிட்டு இருக்கு
now he's bowling the power play before. There's a ball into the surface.
India versus Pakistan test match போயிட்டு இருக்கு.
Ranjani played very well against Pakistan.
ஸ்ட்ரைக் கொடுக்க மாட்டான், காப்பிரைட் கொடுப்பான். அதை ரிமூவ் பண்ணிக்கலாம், மியூட் பண்ணிடலாம். லைவ் முடிஞ்சதுக்கு
Flying bowls to Mukamala, wide of off stump, giving him some width there. Is he going to be caught on the cover boundary? No, it's over. It's over the fielder. It's really well played to bring up his half century, lifting it over. The sort of shot we see so often now, and you have to go over the offside and lift it over the offside. Someone feels Salt's quite good at playing that shot in the power play, for example. They hit it over.
IPL விளையாடாம இந்தியாக்கு டெபியூட்
30 ball half century here.
என்னன்னே தெரியல.
Mukamala,
ஐபிஎல் கொடுப்பானா கான்ட்ராக்ட் என்னன்னு தெரியல.
I mean, the degrees of difficulty on that shot is immense. I mean, just such nice timing. Didn't really look like he put much behind it. Just a lovely, casual flow of the bat. Flew over, comfortably cleared that fielder on the point fence by 10 metres.
Klein bowls, straightens it up again. Shout for LBW. That looks optimistic, a bit high. You can understand why he shouted, because it's relatively straight, but probably going over the top of leg stump, possibly even down the leg side. Very unwise to review that. 113 for 3. The man on the PA.
Valthakal below India debut.
On the PA shouting, "We want," and the next line from the crowd is supposed to be
India debut ஆயி ஒரு டோர்னமென்ட் விளையாண்டு
Netherlands, isn't it? Last thing they want is a
test debut ஆயிருக்கு.
Okay, it's fair enough if you're the USA. And getting the crowd going. Here's Klein bowling to Mukamala. Gets a straight ball off stump, push back, dot ball. He's bowled quite a few of those Klein straight balls. And
opening batsman. Test match.
Targeting the stumps.
விட்டு swing. அந்த பக்கம் swing பண்ணுவானுங்க. Nasim Shah
been the most consistent. So he's obviously working to a plan. He realises that it's quite a quick outfield, especially square the wicket. So he's going to try and contain these batters to hit straight.
உள்ள போறானா வெளிய போறானானே தெரியாது.
Mukamala on strike, 113 for 3. Last ball of the 12th. Leap from
உள்ள அடிக்குறாங்க.
Short ball guided away towards deep back with square leg.
வைத்திலே அடிச்சிருச்சு.
And they go through for a single. So definitely mixing it up in that over from Klein after a very clear plan inside the power play, which you probably do need to adapt as the game goes on. He's 3 overs, 1 for 21. 114.
Hey, ஒரே அனிருத் பட்டா போட்டுட்டு இருக்காங்க கிரவுண்ட்ல.
He's the grandson of former India Test cricketer Vasant Ranjani, born in Pune. And you think about World Cups of the past, one of the great World Cup upsets of all time happened in Pune in back when in 1996 when Kenya beat the West Indies. It was at the time. I mean, Kenya made some progress for a while.
Crowd கம்மியா இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Crowd sound ஓட music sound அதிகமா இருக்கு.
2003 50 over World Cup, men's World Cup, they reached the semi-finals.
Live பார்க்கலாம்னா சுப்ரி விளையாண்டுட்டு இருக்கு. Crowd வந்திருக்கா bro groundல.
1996 was seismic. The leader bowls, Mukamala tries to force, misses it. Through to the keeper. So much so I can remember being on the way to Pune from Mumbai for that game, thinking, I don't really know why I'm going to this game. It's a complete waste of time. It's going to be very one-sided. And then suddenly you're witnessing the biggest World Cup upset ever been to that point.
Am I? Because I was only been a teenager then. But am I right in saying they bowled
double
figures?
Yeah, it was
like 90.
Edge எடுக்கு பயங்கரமா edge எடுக்கு.
That's from memory. I'd have to check it. Here's the leader bowling, short ball, Mukamala goes for the pull shot and misses it. He's flashing through to the wicket.
இந்த கேப்ல ஒரு பவுண்டரி அடிக்குமா? edge எடுக்காம இருக்கணும்.
I'm only asking because I remember my dad.
பால் கரெக்ட்டா போடணும். ஆஹா.
When I got home,
ஷார்ட் பால் போட்டோம்.
Absolutely fuming.
Yeah. I reckon, okay, if you had to ask me, right, got to get this absolutely right, I was on, Mastermind or
Jaiswal 2 ball தான் ஆடி இருக்கான், 8 ball ஆடி இருக்கான்.
I want to say like no more than 80. Was it 60 and 80 they rolled out for as Mukamala swings on the way into the leg side, one bounce out towards the deep mid wicket.
அடுத்த பால் வேற எங்க போடுறோம்,
running around the boundary.
வெயிட் பண்ணுவோம், அங்கே போட்டானா அடிச்சிரோம்.
Tenure by 73 runs.
அதே ஃபீல்ட் தான் இருக்கு, அவங்க போட்டானா அவரே அடி.
pretty sure.
Dean ulla pota stock ulla potanda
wrong. There's a few more than I thought they made. But Kenya made
adu leg side la adikalam takku naan adikka
well, Lara in that match, he whacked 1-4 and then he went for a big shot outside the off stump and missed it, and then he went for another one and was caught behind by the keeper, who wasn't the most athletic. The
slipper
for Kenya as Chepauk plays that away backward square into the onside. He's going to come back for 2 there as he goes along the ground out towards the boundary. Tariq Iqbal was the keeper for Kenya, who was opening batter. He wasn't the most mobile, and I got a feeling he might have caught Lara in his stomach. You know, it sort of hit him and he grabbed hold of the ball. Anyway, Lara was out for 8, and he just came out there and just played big shots. You know, anyway, because when Kenya were bowled out for 166 as it was, he thought, it's no trouble for West Indies, knock that off. Delayed bowl, swung away, fine legs up inside the circle, it's going down towards the boundary. It's not a great delivery, that Delayed. Guided on its way by Shubham Ranjane for 4 towards the fine leg boundary. The runs continuing to come for the USA. They're losing 1 or 2 wickets now, but 121 for 3. They've got a reasonable chance here of pushing 200, which will challenge the Dutch.
Yeah, again, this is the problem with bowlers not bowling to the field. You got fine leg up in the ring. You're asking for trouble if you put pace on short into the pitch on the batter's hips now, especially here they like to get inside the line of the ball.
The later ball short outside the off stump, that's guided away on the pull towards deep mid wicket.
Lexel adipom on the ball.
122 for 3 after 13 overs. West Indies team that day.
Lexel la pathomna off side la potrom.
I mean 5
nalla potrukaya.
4 all-time greats and some very good players. I mean, they had Ambrose and Walsh. I think you could say they were all-time greats, wouldn't you? Someone like Lara, you mentioned, all-time great. And they had Shivnarine Chanderpaul, who has a fantastic international career. He's playing in that match. And they also Richie Rich as well. Richie Richardson, the captain. Ian Bishop. That was a pretty good side. Yeah, you can understand why, as I was making the journey down to Pune, thinking, why on earth am I making all this effort to get down to this game? Thinking, and then suddenly, one of the big cricket stories on our hands. Now, Van der Merwe is going to bowl, and his first ball of his 3rd over is pushed away into the offside towards deep cover. We were talking about off-air actually with Van der Merwe. I saw him play one of the great one-day innings for Somerset against Surrey in a match that people in the UK will probably recall in 2017 in the Royal London Cup, when Somerset were 22 for 5, needing 291, and they won with 4 overs to spare.
Boundary,
that's powered out towards the long-on boundary. The run's continuing to flow. Nothing there. The long-on fielder Max O'Dowd can do about that. Coming round, it's gone for 6. 6 sixes now in this USA innings. 129 for 3, and the Dutch under a bit of pressure here in the 14th over. And Van der Merwe that day made 165 not out when they were 22 for 5, and they won the game. He had 24 fours. And Dean Elgar was at the other end sometime. And Elgar was outscored significantly by Van der Merwe, who might get something here. It's going out towards the long off boundary. No, not quite. Sprawling attempt around the boundary by Logan van Beek. Can't quite get that. That was lifted in the air. Back for 2 to Mukamala. It's on 60.
Played nicely here, Mukamala. When these spinners come in the slot, so to speak, he's going through the line of the ball. He's not trying to tug the ball across the line. He's hitting through the line over extra, straight back over the head.
And the Merwe bowls a tempter outside the off stump, but it's hit away towards deep extra cover. Sliding stop on the boundary. Away to his right-hand side by Ackerman. Keeps it down to 2. Nicely played. You see what Van der Merwe's doing there. Just trying to... we were talking about this earlier, we were just bowling a bit slower and tempting the batters and getting them to miscue it.
Making the batters put all the pace on the ball, and once they're doing that, there's always that chance that they make a little error in timing.
At the moment, the batters are winning though. Van der Merwe bowls, back cut, down towards the boundary on the offside. Again, Ackerman's got ground to make. That's another 2. He's been pretty busy down there on that boundary, going to his left and right, and not able to get 2. So really unusual sequence of scoring this. We've had 3 twos in a row, which you don't see very often in T20 cricket. It's normally 1, 4 or 6.
Not really any bad balls in there.
No.
Either. I mean, he's Van der Merwe. He doesn't veer off the stumps very often.
Bowls there, that's a good ball. Turned away into the onside for a single. So 13 runs off that over. It's 136 for 3, the USA. We've had 14 overs. That means we have time for an obligatory drinks break. Although I say drinks, fruit is being brought out as well.
Timing perfect.
There's a banana in there. Looks like there might be some.
Too young, Simon.
Eh?
I've retired too young, man. That shit. You get waiter service.
You must have had people bringing out bananas and things like that, haven't you?
Never.
Banana. It looked like some cut up orange as well. It might have been some, I don't know, papaya or something like that on that plate.
Salmon.
Let me some.
Yeah, you probably want kind of like, you know, refreshing fruit rather than smoked salmon. Okay, for later. Or for earlier, for breakfast.
Some cut oranges, get the boost the energy levels.
Yeah.
There's the energy gels as well. They used to come out as well.
The bananas are good for cramp, aren't they? They've got potassium in them. See the tennis players eating them between games.
Just as
well, because especially in the punishing humidity of Chennai, the cramp could well become an issue.
You can see it with just underneath their helmets, you know, the amount of fluids these guys lose sprinting up and down the pitch. Even just swinging the club, you know, people get it's really hard work.
Well, Chennai, it's always hot and humid in Chennai. Even when it's raining, it's very, very close. 28 degrees, high humidity. I think the top temperatures today down the southeast coast of India. Home of the Chennai Super Kings. That won't be too far away, will it? Once we get this T20 World Cup done into the IPL, 2 months of IPL.
Not far at all. This is going to be a fascinating contest. I think USA are just building nicely. Again, that run rate's still up around, it's just under 10s and over. I think the Netherlands in that little break there, I think the breaks come at the right time just to settle everyone down, see if they can drag it back in these last 6 overs.
Well, 10 and over from here gets them 196. You don't see many teams chasing down that sort of score. You do in the IPL, but not so much in international cricket. Here and there. I mean, games at Centurion, for example, you see teams chasing 220, and I saw England do that once. I think South Africa did it to the West Indies not so long ago at Centurion. The ball flies there. Talk about this being hot and humid. The air there is thin at Centurion on the high veld in South Africa. The ball gets pumped here, there and everywhere. And we see a big run chase in the IPL. Perhaps not so much in Chennai, which tends to be a more grabby surface, but I think they have done something to the surface here. They've definitely relayed the outfield. So whether we're going to see a different type of pitch in the future.
I suppose suited their attack really when you look at it, the Ashwins and Jadejas.
Yeah,
it's pace off.
Right, play's going to resume after the drinks break. Fred Klassen's going to bowl. A rangy left armour. He's got a big leap when he bowls. Klassen's gone 2 overs, 1 for 20 so far. Picked up the wicket of Krishnamurti. Bowls on off stump or just outside to Mukamala, who's got half a chance of 100 here. He's played that way into the offside towards deep cover.
Ball incoming.
Score goes to 137 for 3. Started the 15th over. The Dutch, who've every now and again come up with some dramatic victories in T20 cricket. They beat Australia in Adelaide. They also beat England at Lords. I remember they've been there that night. And they beat England in 2009.
Yeah, I remember that game too. Yeah.
Klassen bowls to Ranjani, hits this over extra cover. It's going out towards the boundary. Fielder running round, knocks it back inside the rope. Superb athleticism. I think it was Ackerman down there, and Van der Merwe hurls it in. Well, that was brilliant fielding on the boundary. He had to dive, flick it back, and then dived over the rope to escape any collision with the rope. It was, see out there, it was Zach Lyon Cachet, the son of a former Dutch rugby international, and also has class and bowls to Shubman Ranjani, played up towards mid-off.
Oh, serious win
The
now.
daughter of former England #1 tennis player, Sarah Loosemore. They husband and wife, and he is one of 3 children they produced. They met at Oxford when he was playing for Oxford University rugby team, and she was studying psychology. Played for Sussex. 2023 made his debut. Anyway, brilliant piece of fielding.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
that's so.
140 for 3 in the 15th over. Class and bowls. Mukamala tries to force, doesn't get much purchase on that. Again, inspects the bottom of his bat. You can see the sweat dripping down his cheeks underneath his helmet. 140 for 3. This is a match I think India would prefer the USA to win. I mean, they probably can do it themselves, India, but nothing wrong with that. As that one is Mukamala's launching it down the ground off the back foot. That shot that we see so often against spinners, where the batter is just staying on the back foot and lifting it. It's kind of like a back foot drive over the bowler's head, but that was off the pace bowler. Not the Classens Express, but it's well played. 142 for 3. They came back for 2. Mukamala to 68. Partnership 37 or 23. Last ball of the 15th. Klassen bowls to Mukamala, who lofts this into the onside, out towards the wide long on boundary and onto the concrete concourse on the other side of the fence, which will tell you that's gone for 6. And Mukamala with 5 overs to go here. He really is in the century hunt. He's 74 not out, 15 gone, and the USA heading for a punishing score. 148 for 3. Michael, and then it will be Kevin Howells.
Yeah, he's really motoring now, Mukamala. I think he recognises that this is a good pitch and they're going to need every last run they can. And that one just muscled over, long on, deep long on, off a good length. Wasn't the worst delivery in the world class, and he's been going into the pitch using his cutters. But that was an excellent shot, and yeah, definitely eyeing up that century.
Kevin
Carl says. Thank you very much, Simon. As Carl says there, 148 for 3. It's a big target, maybe on the cards, but will be needed on this pitch as we prepare ourselves for the last 5 here. And just seeing highlights, I think, still at the moment. Not always easy to tell, but that's what I think we'll see. Peter Della Penna is alongside, and he no doubt is enjoying the USA. Putting on a good show at the moment, that's for certain. Shubham is 13 not out of 8, and Bake is back on for his 3rd over, 149 for 3 in the 16th over. He's only conceded 15 runs, but looking for a wicket to break up this partnership here, because given a chance, they've already shown that they are more than capable of driving the ball beautifully along the ground. Still, for me, the straight 6s have been there to be hit as well, but also seen some pulled a little wider on the onside. This time it's on the off, and it falls with one bounce just into the hands of Klaassen doing the fielding down there. Brings up the 150, that single for the USA. 150 for 3. That's now 2 balls in to the 16th. The score predictor is 199. That would just be amazing, and to get one more to make it 200 is going to set maybe a doable but very, very tough chance and challenge, should I say, for the Netherlands. Shubham is on 13 facing, and that's a slower ball, loops up over the top of the batter and through to the keeper. I think Van Beek for a moment thought that maybe he heard a little bit of noise, that just a little bit of bat on that. He's had a chat pleasantly, all smiles, and he does have a nice smile about him, doesn't he, Norman? To the umpire, but wasn't able to persuade him that there was anything. Shubham is on 13. Tall, strong, blonde-haired figure. He did have a real swipe of that one. Maybe a little fortunate not to have got something on it. Was there just a little feather above last? But no. Shubham on 13, width to work with along the ground, out to the cover boundary. Sackerman with the right arm throw. Takes the score to 151 for 3. 2 balls remaining with 16. We say it's good, it's a wonderful platform, but they, just to reiterate what Michael Carberry said, they will need to press on here. And so far from this over, only 3 runs, but there are 2 balls remaining, but the boundaries need to keep coming. Mukamala's on 75 not out from 46. And Bake in past the umpire. Bowles looking for width, too much width. Surely we'll wait for confirmation because I'm not the umpire, but the umpire agrees that was wide of the line. So another one to US total, 152. This 4th wicket partnership with 47 and 29. Shubham and Mukamala. 2 balls left. Every time Peter has got so much he wants to say. I'm telling you what, as soon as this over's finished, I'm keeping still, and he's got at least 30 seconds to get it all out. 2 balls left at the 16th over. Mukamala on 75. Short, play and a miss. Okay, a bit of an opportunity for you now, Peter.
I said earlier in the 9th over, there was that possible chance when Mukamala was on 19. If it's a World Cup final, Logan Van Beek is putting in a dive. I wonder if he regrets it now, because Mukamala has gone from 19 now to 75. And in essence, this is kind of a mini World Cup final, because if Netherlands loses this match, their odds of advancing to the Super 8s are dramatically reduced.
And back to Mukamala width. Oh, he doesn't make good contact with that. I think he was looking for that out on the offside. It's ended up there and long on. It's the end of the over, of which they've taken the board off me to tell you exactly. I need to look up elsewhere, but there are not that many runs coming from it. And it does leave the score for the USA at 152 for 3 after 16 overs.
This is kind of an elimination match, de facto elimination match, because whoever loses this, their odds of advancing are overwhelmingly against them. USA is already almost out of it because of losing to Pakistan and India. Netherlands still has a match coming up against India, but they need a lot of permutations to go their way, and one of them is controlling their own destiny, and they're not controlling it very well against USA today. USA looking phenomenal here with Mukamala on 76.
As delayed up in on the stumps, but pulled away by Mukamala. Square leg side for a single. 154 for 3. It just feels though they're doing a bit of a containing job here at the moment, though. Need to open up a little more. I mean, a few overs remaining, and 154 is a good score.
Oh.
Okay, this is terrific work to date, but I get the feeling on this pitch they will need more to really challenge the Netherlands. Of course, the bowlers may disagree. They may get in amongst the Netherlands early on in the chase, but Shubham's on 14. Full. That's away on the leg side, but only as far as Hill coming running round. Good throw as well. Actually, it was good direction on it. It wasn't gathered there, but there was backing up.
It's good.
That's Van Beek with the throw.
And good running by Mukamala as well. Shubham Ranjane is running on a gimpy leg. He injured himself in the India match. Hasn't been able to bowl since then. He played as a specialist batter only against Pakistan. Mukamala is running to the non-strikers and coming back for the second here. If it was a direct hit, it would have been out. But Ranjane is running on a gimpy leg, so that second was dependent on Mukamala.
He's on 16, a slower ball. Mixing it up nicely past the leader, but they still go through for 1. Managed to salvage something out of that in terms of runs. But Mukamala, I think we may be seeing some of his highlights here. Certainly a wonderful striker of the ball. So far we've seen 5 4s, 4 6s in his innings. Terrific work from him. And now, it'd be lovely to see him score the century, of course, but he's got another 23 runs to get there. But it's for him to try and steer his team to a winning target, which can't be chased out. This is high on the offside. This is Mukamala, who manages to